Hi everyone, Rahul here. In this video, we will discuss about SQL. What is SQL? SQL stands for Structured Query Language. This language is used to interact with database. Whenever we have to play with the data, like retrieval a data, inserting a data in a table, updating, modifying a data, or to delete a data, and so on. So many activities we can do in a database. So for this purpose, which language is used? SQL language is used. All the relational database management system, RDBMS system like MySQL, Oracle, MS Access, Sybase, Informix, Postgres, SQL Server, all these RDBMS systems uses SQL as their standard database language. So whenever a client used to connect to the relational database language, SQL is the intermediate. Whenever a client have to connect to RDBMS database systems, SQL language is used. I'm not talking about non-relational databases here. For those purpose, nowadays NoSQL is also used. But whenever we have to connect to RDBMS like Oracle, SQL Server, MS Access, SQL language is used. What are the different types of SQL statements we have? First is DDL, data definition language. Second is DML, data manipulation language. Third is DCL, data control language. Fourth is TCL, transaction control language. And the last one is DRL, data retrieval language. Now let's discuss about these SQL statements on high level. So DDL, as I said, it's a data definition language. Whenever we have to create any database object and to modify any database object, to drop any database object. These all commands create, alter, drop, truncate comes under DDL. So create command is used to create database objects like table, index, functions, view, stored procedures. Create command is used for that. Whenever we have to modify the structure of the database object, let's suppose we have to rename any column. Let's suppose we have to add any column, drop any column from a table. In those scenarios, we will go with the alter command. Drop command is used to drop objects from a database. Let's suppose you have created one table, now you don't want it, you have to drop this table. So we will go with drop command. Truncate command is used to delete all the rows from a table in one go. Next is DML, data manipulation language. Insert, update, delete, and merge statements comes under DML. So whenever you have to insert data in a table, we will use insert command. Whenever we have to modify data in a table, we will go with the update command. When we have to delete records from a table, we will go with the delete. In my previous slide, I have discussed about truncate command. Truncate is DDL, delete is DML. I will create a separate video on truncate and delete in future, but on high level, truncate is to delete all the rows from a table in one go, but in delete we can give where condition. Let's suppose there are 10 rows in a table and you have to delete only 6 rows. So we will give where condition in a delete, and in this way we will be able to delete only those 6 rows, but truncate is to delete all the rows from a table. Last one is merge. Whenever we have to insert, update and delete in a single command, we don't want to write multiple commands for insert, update and delete. We have to write a single command at one go. We will use merge command in this case. Next is DCL. DCL is data control language. This is for enforcing security at the database and at the user level. So grant and revoke commands we will use in DCL. So grant command gives user access privileges to the database. So let's suppose you have created any table in a schema and now you have given some grants to the another schema or another role. You just want a user to read that data. So in that scenario, we will give only read grant. Whenever you want a user to modify data as well, in that case, we will provide delete, insert, update grants as well. Revoke is just opposite to the grant. Let's suppose you have given some grants to the user. Now you have to revoke it. In this case, we will go with the revoke command. Next is TCL, transaction control language. Commit, rollback, and save point comes under TCL. So commits a transaction. What is the transaction? Suppose your task is to insert data in a table. Let's suppose you are inserting one row. Inserting one row is a transaction. Whenever you fire insert command, it will insert the data in a table. But if you want these changes to be permanently in a database, you have to fire commit command. Rollback is just opposite to commit. Let's suppose you have fired some insert statements, update statements, any DML statement, and now you think these commands are not right. You have done some mistake in those commands. Data is not correct. You don't want these changes to be permanently reflected in the database. Just fire a rollback command. Save point is just another concept. In this save point, we will create a different sets in a table. Let's suppose you have inserted one row, then create a save point. Create another row, then create a save point. Create another row, then create save point 3. So we have created three save points, S1, S2, S3. Now, if there is a requirement to go to save point 2, you just want only two rows, then go to the save point 2. We can roll back to save point. I will discuss it in detail in my future videos. Next is TRL. TRL is simple one, like suppose you have created a table, you have inserted data into that. Now you have to see that data. User want to see that data. So you have to retrieve this data from a database table. In this scenario, we will use select command. So that's all under SQL commands. So SQL statements are DDL, DML, DCL, TCL, and DRL. In my future videos, I will discuss each and every SQL statements in detail, and I will show you how to write these SQL statements in a database. If you have learned something new, please like this video. Happy learning, guys. Thank you.